Hey YouTube, this is Bernie with Dry Creek Homestead. So today I'm outside in the potato patch. Now we've been fighting blight on everything here. It's been so wet, and it's been cool in the evenings or at night. It's been getting down in the 60s, but it's getting up into the 80s during the day. It's just really humid. The leaves never really get a chance. We have a dew in the morning, and the dew lasts till almost noon. So it's been something. So we've got blight on the potatoes. We've been fighting that for a little while. Mainly thing you can do for blight is prevent it in the first place, and there are some things you can do to do that. There are some organic fungicides that you can put out there, and also keeping the bugs off them will help a lot. Now, we've been having a lot of trouble because it's been so wet, in fact, and I'll have to turn the camera around here and show you here in just a minute. But you can see we've had so much rain, we got water standing between the beds. You could almost fish between the beds. It's just, it's miserable, you know. So we haven't been able to plant a lot of our summer stuff yet. We did go ahead and we planted the tomatoes in the mud. And I'm going to have to do that today with the cantaloupe and the watermelon because I got to get them in the ground. So anyway, so we're going to start doing that. You can see here our lettuce is about done for the year because it's starting to get warm enough now. It's starting to get just a little bit bitter. And that's what'll happen to the lettuce is it gets bitter, and then it'll start bolting, you know, going to seed. So, but I do have a potato plant over here I'm going to dig up. It's dying anyway, and I want to try to get it out of the field before it infects any of the other plants any worse than they already are. So, and I just want to see how much in the way of potatoes we got at the bottom of these things right now. That way I can decide, do I want to keep fighting the blight or just let it have them and then just dig the potatoes afterwards. So anyway, but let me turn the camera around. I'll show you this potato plant. All right, so here we're out in the potato patch, and you see it's just so wet that you can't even get in here to weed, and you can see the water between the beds. I mean, it's insane. The tomatoes are right down here at the other end, right here at the end of the potatoes. They're a little bit harder to see, but anyway, so I want to dig this potato plant right here. You can see the leaves on it are going away, and this is probably the worst plant in the whole field, and I just really want to get rid of it before insects get back on it and then they infect the other plants, because there are some plants out here that are perfectly fine, but I want to go ahead and get this one out. And two, then I can see how much in the way of potatoes we have at the bottom here, and so we'll see that here in just a minute. So you can see I just dug this plant up, and see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decent sized potatoes. There's 7, 8, 9 potatoes total, but if you look at the roots, you can see a bunch more potatoes forming. So that's going to make my decision for me. I'm going to go ahead and get this plant out of the field, because like I said, the reason I dug that in the first place is I was worried about bugs getting on it and it spreading to other plants. But so what I'll do is I'll get rid of that one, and I will continue to fight the blight. It's hard to do when the weather conditions are like this, because it just won't dry up enough to let you do anything very short term. You know, you can apply diatomaceous earth or something in the morning, and in that afternoon it rains and washes it all off. It's like, oh my gosh. So I am going to try to keep fighting for them and keep them growing as long as I can. I don't know, I will weigh those potatoes, and I'll let you know how much they weigh. I'm guessing maybe a pound. I'm hoping a pound. So that's kind of light, and so that's why I want to try to keep taking care of them. See if we can get them up to 2 pounds, or get some bigger potatoes. Like there's a couple of those potatoes that'd be good for bacon, but it'd be nice to get them bigger. I mean, they are some, nice sized potatoes for so far, but we'd like to make them bigger, and that's what we're going to keep doing. So I'm going to pick these up, quit rambling, and I'll go weigh them, and I'll let you know how much they weighed. All right, so you can see there's 26.2 ounces of potatoes. Now I did try to wipe most all the mud off that I could, but you got to be careful. When you dig a potato like that, normally when the vine dies back, you let it stay 2 weeks, and then the peel, or I guess you call it the peel of the potato, the skin of the potato hardens. Right now, if you wanted to, if you scrubbed real hard, you could take your thumb and you could actually pull the skin off of the potato. So I didn't get too aggressive with it. So 26.2. So I'm guessing there's probably 2 to 3 ounces worth of mud left on them, would be my bet. So there's probably 23 ounces of potatoes. So we definitely want to fight for those potatoes a little bit more. And so that's what I'll do. So anyway, I'll come back here in a little bit, and I'll do a exit for the video. Well, I'm going to give you some different ways that you can treat or prevent blight on, and that goes for potatoes, tomatoes, anything that will get blight. Green beans will get blight. So first thing you want to do is prevent it in the first place. Now, there are some control measures that you can do to help with that. One is weed control. You got to keep it weeded. Now you can see our potato patch, it was weeded, but it's been so wet we hadn't really been able to get out there and do anything because we had so much rain yesterday. The road in front of our house was flooded, so I mean, it's just been kind of insane. But anyway, so one is weed control. That's first and foremost. Don't give the bugs a place to hide. Second thing you can do is diatomaceous earth. Keep that on it if you want to go organic, or use something like a BT. I'm going to mutilate the name, bacterial thuringius. I can't remember the name, but BT. It's organic. You can use that because the diatomaceous earth really won't work too well on like potato beetles or things like that, because the way the diatomaceous earth works is it's kind of like little bitty seed diatoms, and they cut open like the aphids, and they basically they dry out. It bleeds them to death. Beetles, like potato beetles, have a harder shell or harder exoskeleton, and so it does not work well for them. And so then you need to use something like a BT product, and you can mix that up. You usually get the concentrate and mix it up in a little backpack sprayer and spray them that way. So weed control, and then if you have to, you need to control the bugs. If you do get blight on them, about the only thing you can do is control it, because once they get it, they've got it, and there's really no getting rid of it. So you can take off the affected leaves if you want. Otherwise, you're going to need to probably spray some sort of a fungicide. They do have some organic fungicides you can use, and the names of those vary, the product names, but you can usually get those at most nurseries or your big box stores. Really, in my experience, in a year like this year, you're probably going to need to go a step up from organic and use probably use something like a Captain Jack's tomato and vegetable. It does control the blight. It does not get rid of it. Nothing is going to get rid of the blight. Once you got it, they've got it. All you can do is control it and hopefully keep them growing long enough to get a new harvest. Now, what you can do is, once the plant has blight, if you take off the affected limbs and you can keep the blight from getting on the new shoots, you can control it pretty well, and you can keep it growing. But like I said, once you have blight, it is going to limit your yield. And so, it is what it is at that point. But those are a few different things that you can do to control or prevent it in the first place. Would be the better option if you can. Like I said, on these, because we're having another hot and humid day, and it's supposed to rain again this afternoon and tomorrow. So probably what I will do is I'll go to the store and get some of that Captain Jack's. Now that's not organic, but we're not selling these potatoes. These are for our own consumption. And we're trying to feed the pigs with these potatoes because feed prices are just getting astronomical. So we got to make a crop. 2 pounds per plant is not going to get it done. Now we do have, I think we got about 300 potato plants. And so at 2 pounds per plant, that would give us around 600 pounds of potatoes. But like I said, we want some that we can replant in the fall, and then we're also going to feed not only ourselves but the pigs. And so because you can fatten pigs up on, so we're trying to make our homestead as self-sufficient as we can. So that's one of the things we gonna do. And so, you know, I hate doing it, but I'll probably end up having to go buy some of the Captain Jacks and using that to kind of control the blight so we can get those potatoes a little bit bigger. I don't like doing it. If I do ever use anything like that, I do not sell it. And like I said, I hate using that stuff, but you know, once in a while there's a case for it, you know. And so leaf hoppers actually caused, I'm pretty sure it was leaf hoppers actually caused the Great Potato Famine, the Irish potato famine over in Europe. So that is, and what they do is they just carry disease from one plant to the next. Every time they bite it, they inject that disease into that plant. And so bug control is the best thing. If you get it on one plant, it's not a death sentence for the whole crop if you can keep the bugs controlled, and then you don't have to use the other than organic methods. But like I said, this year we need to make that crop. And so, you know, that's probably what I'll end up having to do. I will let you know what I decide for sure, because I don't have any. I have to go buy some. And I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that. So, but anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I will let you know if I ended up going to get some non-organic fungicide or not. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned from it, please like it and subscribe it. That helps it get out there. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.